Wrong one.
Good job, Brooks. You did great.
I got a bunch of City of London stuff to still do here. I've got 2 glyphs somewhere in the city. What I was gonna do is, I believe we only have a few missions left.
Missions?
I mean, a few, murders. Yeah, because there's one in here and it has not spawned yet, so I'm guessing, yeah, it's just this and then last one, so let's say we finish those up.
What say you? What say you?
I wonder how thick that coat is. Nothing in the immediate vicinity. Let's go solve a murder. Hey kids. Something nearby. Doesn't matter.
He's dead, Jim.
There's an empty beer bottle. Very good to know.
You killed this woman.
He's dead, Jim.
Now then.
You would say. Alright, short stack, give us a
Nighttime.
My write-up of that last crime was so ingenious that Purlock Publishing tossed me quite a tidy sum. I believe this next one will do even better.
It's baffling. The room was locked. How did the murderer get in and out?
Maybe through a window? Okay, just go through here, Jacob. Just
what?
Brian Cashin. I
You're
thought.
wearing the wrong outfit for this. You're wearing the wrong outfit. Get your proper outfit.
Fine, I'll do
Mr.
it.
Detective. There you go. The hunt is afoot, my friend.
No sign of a struggle. No wounds. He just died suddenly? Yellowed candles that have burned down to the nub. Something about heat. An anonymous letter written in a feminine hand. My dearest Brian, I can't keep abreast of your innumerable affairs, but haven't you time for another little adventure with me? Cast aside your current paramour, much too working class for you, and join me in Florence, won't you?
I should return and find out about this.
Him. The window was shut, locked from the inside. No sign of a break-in. Maybe from this window. Letter from Cashin's editor. Byron, you old rogue. Your evisceration of the Aldwych group was delicious. Our readers cannot get enough of your clever and delightfully unkind reviews. All the ensembles in town live in fear. Keep up the good work. Common lighting fixture. The light won't turn on.
What is up with the lights in here?
Air vent communicating with the neighboring apartment.
Yo. Gas. He was killed with gas.
Ah, carbon monoxide. The latest effort by the Aldwych Chamber Orchestra must be counted as a fiasco. The woodwinds were discordant and cacophonous. Rather than playing Mendelssohn, the strings fought with him. In particular, the solo performed by the first violin was a disaster. This gentleman is better equipped to perform in the London sewers. I would advise anyone who has contemplated attending to instead remain quietly at home. Oof. Standard door with lock and hinges in normal state.
There's a sticker.
For a chamber orchestra that performed a series of Mendelssohn pieces a few nights ago.
I believe I should re-interrogate a suspect.
You haven't interrogated any suspects.
Well, let's see, what's your name? Mrs. Henham, the housekeeper.
I'm just the housekeeper, but Mr. Cashin was a dear friend. Each morning I bring him his coffee. Today his door was locked shut. My husband is the caretaker. We live downstairs. We have the keys to all the apartments, so after knocking, I became concerned and let myself in and found him like this. The lights weren't working. My husband didn't want to waste any candles, so we retired early. Mr. Cashin was a respected music critic, a very accomplished man.
Hello.
What's this?
Labeled basement. Common light fixture. Lights won't turn on. Communicates with Casham's flat. Andante for violin and piano in D minor by Felix Mendelssohn.
I wonder if someone could tell me more about this.
Yo.
Someone didn't like his review.
The freaking solo violin player lives next door to him.
Several articles, one about the Queen's plans to use the storied scepter with the dove to knight an industrialist. Another about the publishing business. A third concerning the Aldwych Chamber Orchestra, which has disbanded for lack of funds. A series of damning reviews by London's most influential critic has crushed all hope of attracting an audience.
Yo. The violinist lived next door to the guy.
Candelabra of partially burned white
Now that
candles.
I've seen this, I should ask more questions.
Mrs. Bloomfield.
Mr. Cashin is dead? I just saw him yesterday. He looked in the peak of health. If you ask me, he paid a bit too much attention to the caretaker's wife. Scandalous, really. They must have seen each other nearly every day. Last night, I was knitting in that chair. Then I felt quite sickly and opened the window to clear my head. I certainly didn't hear anything. When the lights quit working yesterday, that sweet Mr. Golden handed out candles to everyone. He's such a nice man.
Yo.
Hey, please talk to you. There we go.
Gone just like that, eh? He lived right next door and often came home from his concerts a bit drunk and singing at the top of his lungs. Drove my wife near crazy. Cashin had an eye for the ladies, no question. I was a bit jealous of him, frankly. I was down in the cellar, fiddling with my experiments. That belongs to Mr. Golden. He's an awfully nice chap. We let him use our apartment during the day when my wife and I are out tending our shop. He likes to rehearse here where the light's better. I'm an amateur chemist. Henman let me set up a few experiments in the cellar.
Yo. You can talk to her again.
Oh, you're right.
Because she had
Yep,
an
yep.
affair.
It's true. I loved him. He was the best thing that ever happened to me.
And then you killed him!
Suspects met one appointment. Oh, no, that's because she's been to
Yeah.
Oh, scan. Look at all the gases.
Men's clothes, very dirty with soot. Common lighting fixture, the light won't turn on. Jacob, it's kind of behind your head. White candle used to light the room. Comes from a...
No! I'm in the middle of something.
Not now, please. Comes from a box nearby. White shavings on the floor appear to be wax. Box of white candles, almost all are gone.
Well, I didn't ask about this.
Violin strings along with tools for a precise trimming of the strings. String Quartet number 6 in F minor, optional 80. Violin Concerto in E minor, optional 64. Sonata for violin and piano in F minor.
I worked very late. So did he.
I only met him once or twice in the 2 years I've been living here. I was out giving a benefit recital for unemployed musicians. Several dozen people can attest to my whereabouts. I use them to create an ambience when I hold private recitals.
Keep your skin around. Yeah, look at all this stuff he was about to walk past.
No, I knew it was down here.
You don't know anything.
Cold gas tank that supplies gas to all the rooms in the building, covered in dirt and
I
soot.
should go back and ask about this.
Small beaker of a yellow liquid, half full.
I wonder if someone could tell me more about this.
Beakers, funnels, a mortar and pestle, and various chemical compounds.
Experiments.
Keys to all the apartments as well as to the basement. Wait a minute.
What?
Oh, I was gonna say, who's missing a key?
I think they all got one.
Common lighting fixture, the light won't turn on. Unused white candles. Standard screwdriver.
Go back and ask about this.
Mr. Cashin's dead. Difficult to believe. He led a quiet life. Out at concerts most nights. Shut up in his room writing the rest of the time. He must have been a lonely man. My wife felt sorry for him and helped him as often as she could. I'm in charge of the running and upkeep of the whole building, so I can get dirty now and then. I was just doing some work in the basement. I forgot to put it away after I fixed Mr. Golden's music stand yesterday morning. I left it there, and he came to give it back. The gas quit working yesterday. I don't know enough to fix such things safely myself. A man from the company is going to come by tomorrow.
Somebody sabotaged the gas. Killed him.
Ah, yes, be careful with that. It can be dangerous. It reacts badly with heat.
Yellow reacts badly with heat.
You think it's him?
I don't know if it's him. Let me think. Somebody sabotaged the gas.
Mm-hmm.
Probably someone with sooty clothes, right? Wasn't there someone you could ask over the screwdriver?
Yeah, that was the guy I was just at.
Oh, yeah. Huh. So it's either this guy or... Let me think about this.
Okay, Casham's rune. There's the air vent. An anonymous letter. That's for the wife, probably. Got yellowed candles. Okay, Bloomfield has the basement key.
Basement key, sooty clothes, and the yellow chemical that reacts poorly with heat.
And he has the air vent next door. Yep, white candles. Golden has the sooty clothes, though.
Oh, that's true.
White shavings on the floor appear to be wax.
What the heck does that mean?
Do you think he maybe switched out one of the white candles for a yellow one?
Why would that cause shavings?
I don't know. White candle used to light the room, comes from a box nearby. Basement has all the chemical stuff. Small beaker of a yellow liquid, half full. Okay, Henman. He has all the keys. He's got the screwdriver and the unused white candles. I know, because it's like, it could be like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, I got 3 suspects left.
Okay, Mrs. Bloomfield, neighbor of the victim. Claims Casham saw Mrs. Henman almost every day. Professes to be scandalized. Claims she sat in the chair knitting, then felt sick and opened the window. Didn't hear anything unusual. Claims after the light went out, Mr. Golden handed out candles to everyone. Mr. Golden claims he barely knew the victim. He used candles to create an ambiance. Claims he was given a recital. Can be corroborated by the audience. Well, that could just be an alibi for the candle burning and that somehow causing some kind of chemical gas or something. Caretaker, sooty clothes. Appears surprised that Mr. Casham is dead. He was away most nights. Always claimed that Mrs. Henman spent time with him. States he's in charge of the upkeep of the apartment building and therefore gets dirty. He has been working in the basement. Left the screwdriver in Mr. Golden's apartment. Mr. Golden returned it. The gas stopped working.
Good for Mr. Golden.
Mrs. Henman, housekeeper. Husband is the caretaker. Live below and have keys to all apartments. Mr. Casham is a friend. Brought him coffee in the mornings. Became alarmed this morning when he didn't answer. The lights weren't working. She and her husband retired early to save candles. Casham was a respected music critic. Confesses to love him. Mr. Bloomfield, neighbor. Claims Casham would come home drunk and singing, which bothered his wife. He was down in the basement with his experiments. He claims to be an amateur chemist. States that Mr. Henman allowed him to perform experiments in the basement. Chemical is dangerous when exposed to heat. Music belongs to Mr. Golden. Golden was allowed to rehearse in the apartment alone. Implies Casham had numerous romantic liaisons to the point of making Bloomfield jealous. I honestly think it might be Mr. David Golden.
Yeah. that would be my guess, but I'm not certain. Is that Mr. Golden?
Yep. I think it might be you, because he gave a bad music review, and so you made a yellow candle, put it in his room, lit it, and then you went to recital while it burned.
He destroyed an entire orchestra. All those musicians put out of work. A rancorous old man who had no talent or creativity of his own.
I suspect there was more to that mystery than meets the eye.
When did you get here?
I'm going to look into it.
So wicked was the pen of Byron Casham that it brought down an entire orchestra. Scathing review upon scathing review eventually led to the demise of the Aldwych Chamber Orchestra. Perhaps Mr. Casham was distracted by his irregular friendship with his caretaker's wife and did not realize that one of his neighbors was the first violinist with the ensemble that his reviews had destroyed. That very same Mr. Golden constructed his revenge with care. Taking advantage of his access to a screwdriver and a key, Golden fashioned a poisoned candle using an unusual chemical found in the basement. He turned off the gas at the mains and handed candles to his neighbors, ensuring that his enemy, Mr. Casham, received the candle of death. Critics beware. Yep. It would lower your potential rewards. But since I got it right, I got an additional...
plus 100?
Yeah, I got additional XP. I just got engraved knuckles. Did he just leap out the window?
I believe he did.
Artie, dude!
He's a spry kid.
Knuckles engraved with the initials of their owner.
Who's the owner?
I'm guessing us? I can switch back now.
The hunt is afoot.
Oop. I think this might be the final one. The most hated man in London.
And your train's right next to it.
Yeah, but by the time I do that, it's probably going to be zipping down here or something. Oh, I can fast travel here.
Can first fast travel to the Juno portal.